back to the Unleashing. I'm your host, Jared Beeler. I dropped a video a couple months ago. You guys remember it wasn't too long. Secrets of the Universe Part 2. In the video, I discussed a crazy theory that the government had tested an antimatter bomb in a distant galaxy far, far away from our solar system. All right? And I dropped it, and my buddy is kind of like biting his fingernails and cringing a little bit because you never know what's going to happen. Like I say, I'm often surprised the channel doesn't get shut down. Some of the stuff I talk about, bringing it to the table, the enemy knows it's legit. And, so I find it surprising sometimes. But, maybe it's because the channel is smaller or whatever, and some stuff gets away. But like I say, you're not always going to get to hear this stuff. They've been prepping now for a while with the kill switch for the internet and all the media platforms and stuff. And when the big thing goes down, you're not going to be able to find stuff like this. That's why I encourage you, if you find anything that's informative, that would help somebody else, could help you later, or anything else, you record that stuff and keep it. If the internet were to go down, I have all my videos. They're on a hard copy, and that's what I try to tell other people to do too, because it could end up helping you out in the long run. But very controversial subject, talking about them setting off a bomb in the far reaches of space where it's safe. And they flipped the satellites, the telescopes, in that direction, and said they randomly turned it in that way. And they happened to catch an explosion that was bigger than a supernova, okay? In that moment when they did that, I was given a revelation that that's not what happened at all. They purposely did it there, and they were watching it. And this got into a whole different topic, a completely different light. And if you see it directly as it happens, I told you before, when a photon leaves a light source, it instantly to the photon is there, yet we can measure light at a side. Gets into a very interesting concept. For them to set that off that far in space, how would they have had to go back in time? No, I seriously doubt that they would, or that they would have taken that back, which means we would be able to see it instantaneously, and that changes the whole perspective on the thing. But the whole thing gets into a diabolical in-game, a scheme, a plan that they have, where their cockiness comes from, where they believe when there was Satan, the government, the forces of the world, the darkness, that they're going to win in the final battle, okay? And that's what it was. I was just talking about that, but it was an interesting idea. Well, a couple things happened today, a couple revelations, some stuff that I've been working on that was kind of big. But on my way to work this morning, I get there and I have a few minutes to chill, and I'm drinking some coffee, and I saw a trailer just drop for a new movie called AD Astra, and for whatever reason I clicked on it to see what was going on. It has Brad Pitt starring in it and stuff, and so I watch it, and I am jaw-dropped instantly when I see what the movie is about. I couldn't believe it. Watch this preview real fast.
What are you thinking about?
I do what I do because of my dad. He was a hero. He gave his life for the pursuit of knowledge.
Control, you getting that over?
It's crazy out there. There's fires everywhere and plane crashes. They're calling it the Surge.
Major, we have some highly classified information.
What can you tell us about the Lima project?
Its objective was to search for advanced extraterrestrial life. The ship disappeared approximately 16 years into the mission.
And the commander was?
He was my father, sir.
This might come as quite a shock to you. Your father was experimenting with a highly classified material that could threaten our entire solar system. All life would be destroyed. We're counting on you to find out what's happening out there.
I worry about you. I love you.
Please begin your psychological evaluation. As best you can, please describe your current mental and emotional state.
I'm feeling good, ready to do my job to the best of my abilities.
I remain fully committed to the lawful completion of the mission. If necessary, I will destroy the project in its entirety.
The Earth put its hopes in him. And now, its fate is on me.
We have a job to do. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
As you can see in this preview, this is exactly what I was talking about 2 months ago, okay? I couldn't believe it, or that they would bring something that big forward, you know, like they do. Let me read you something real fast here. This is out of the 9 Orders of the Illuminati. Number 4, truth hidden in plain sight. Openly tell the truth to the human cattle and still make sure that the cattle don't get it. All right? This is what they constantly do in movies when they're pre-programming people, different things and ideas and stuff like that. This is what they constantly do. Why they do this? All right, they're getting this order from Satan, of course, being in the Illuminati and stuff like that. But why does he do this? Gets into a couple of theories that he has to show his hands and make it obvious to people to an extent or whatever, so that it's fair, and or maybe some other ideas. Not really sure on this department. It could be open for speculation, but they do it, okay, and they show their hand. But what I find completely and totally jaw-dropping in this is exactly what I was talking about. This is the basis of the movie. They have a weapon that's so powerful that can destroy the solar system. So they take it outside of the solar system to test it, where they blow it up, and they have others. And Brad Pitt has to come in, and it looks like he has to take it out of there on a secret mission because it's too dangerous to be kept in the solar system or in the vicinity because it could destroy us all. All right? This gets into CERN, what they're creating, the antimatter weapons and stuff like that, and the big game picture and why they're so cocky, all right? But the story goes deeper than this, okay? And it gets into some other stuff that I've talked about before and that you guys have heard as well, from Steve Quayle and Tom Horn. During the first day of Iraq, all right, when we went over there and we stormed the Baghdad Museum first day, okay? I wasn't on this mission or anything like this. This is before I went into Iraq, okay? But this is open for public, this is public domain stuff. You can find this. They don't say what they were in there for, but this is exactly where we went. Raiders of the Lost Ark style, talked about it before. They're in there looking through the crates and different things like that. Saddam Hussein was starting to rebuild Babylon over there, right? He thought he was Nebuchadnezzar reincarnated. We found something. We found a couple different things. Gilgamesh's body and the power source to the Tower of Babel, okay? They get it out of there. They get it on C-17s, and they fly it back to America, okay? All right, and this falls into the extracurricular books like Jasher that talk about what was actually taking place at the Tower of Babel, all right? And everything that's going on, which you just saw in that trailer and stuff like that, this is all part of that, and it's all taking place once again. Just like in Jasher, they came together with a plan, a diabolical scheme that they were going to storm heaven and overthrow God, okay? An absolutely ridiculous idea that I've stated before, but it was still part of the plan nonetheless. And God destroyed them, and he said there's nothing that man can't do when his language is the same. He separated the languages, and this is the end of Tower of Babel after they destroyed, okay? All right, well, they found that power source or that portal device, okay, the same one, and they've been messing around with this stuff for a long time. And what do they plan on using this in Armageddon sometime before it, or literally trying to do the same thing they were doing at the Tower of Babel, bring something like this into the throne room of God and try to blow him up? You know, who really knows? Because it's going to be absolute folly. But I'm blown away that they're showing their hand this much, especially when they crashed the movie John Carter, okay? I've talked about that lots of times, why they crashed John Carter, right? The stuff that's actually taking place on Mars and things like that. Let me tell you guys a story. I was in college, and a professor pulled me to the side once. He'd listened to me talk long enough to some of the fellow students. I was blasting out secrets. In fact, you can't be around me too often without me blasting out some sort of secrets about stuff. And he pulled me to the side of the class, and he told me this, and like I've stated before, people openly talk to me, and they know they can trust me, and they instantly start talking. And even now, I'll protect his name or whatever. But he became a high-level Mason after they helped his son. Okay, so he got into it, and he was taken up to the top. But I thought it was very interesting in the conversation I was having with him. He was asking me about a few things, and then he started to openly discuss some of the stuff that he knew, just between me and him, hush hush, and he asked me not to tell anybody about that. Oops, here we go. However, I'm not revealing his name, so it's okay. So we were talking, and I asked him a few questions, about the aliens on the backside of the moon. Oh, yeah. The moon hollowed out. Yeah. Aliens and people living on Venus. Yeah, I know about that too. All right. This goes into Mars and everything else, okay? This is common knowledge within the Masons, all right, the high levels, and definitely the Illuminati, okay? We talked a little bit more, and then that was the end of the conversation, okay? But, it's totally out there. There's people in secret societies that know this kind of stuff already. But the whole Mars thing and what's going on there and how there's the story of the Stargates and everything like that, what I've told you about before with Barry Soetoro and going in the Stargate and all his deep circles and everything like that. I mean, all this stuff's legit. And for those that don't believe in space or anything like that, they're already lost. All right, you guys know how I feel about flat earthers. I'm constantly see the nonsense that comes from them. I just blasted somebody off the channel. Oh, your channel's amazing. It's so good. So much truth. What? You don't believe in flat earth? Oh my gosh, everything you said is a lie. It's like unbelievable the dumbness that these people have, right? And it shows in everything they go into. But I'm not going to get off track on this sort of thing, all right? The point of this story that I'm telling you is that this stuff is all real. And wherever they're storing it, where maybe it's Stanley Kubrick or whatever, not Stanley Kubrick, but what's his name? I can't think of it. But the director that did the Aliens movie and stuff, where they had a planet where they're testing weapons and chemical warfare and stuff like that. Who knows? I mean, if they have weapons as powerful, I wouldn't be wanting to keep them on Earth, all right? And it doesn't seem like they would. They'd blow themselves up in the process of the whole thing. But it's very interesting. And after watching this, I mean, it gives absolute credence to exactly what I was talking about. I talked about that a few months ago. I've talked about it before that to friends and stuff like that. So the idea's been around for quite a while now. And they definitely have them. And it was first mentioned Alex Jones back in the early 90s when the Air Force admitted it, that they had antimatter weapons that could take out solar systems and things. And, you bring this forward in time, and then that explosion they did out in space a few years ago, and when I caught that, and them turning the telescope so they could see it, doing what they always do, one of the 9 tenets of the Illuminati, where they show what they're doing, they show their hand or whatever. Now they're literally making a movie about it, okay? And they might not be talking about the light thing because they want to keep that a secret. Any sort of thing that gives credence to the Bible, the young earth, and the universe, you're not going to hear about that, all right? They're going to do everything they can to push evolution, because this is going to fill right into the whole alien agenda when they push that forward, that we were planted here by them, and they're the saviors and all this other nonsense, all right? The big cover-up for the rapture and everything like that. So, pretty crazy, but interesting stuff. Story of Ben Rich, or whatever his name is, who was head of Skunk Works on his deathbed when he had the deathbed confessions, and he admitted that there's nothing we haven't done, different galaxies, time travel and everything else, we've already done it, and he admitted that he believed that we could handle it now, we could handle the truth, and we shouldn't keep it a secret anymore. But they still do. They're constantly keeping their hand from it, and the world doesn't know. They don't know any of this stuff, all right? And, you got to get into some pretty deep conspiracy if you're going to talk about it or believe it, but like I said, we were just talking about this a couple months ago, and they literally have a movie out about it now that I didn't even know that they were going to be making or anything like that. As far as I know, that was the first trailer, and it's literally on the same topic, okay? And it's a part of showing their hand, all right? How do I think this is going to play out? I think they got tons of those things. I think they've been working on them for a while. I think that CERN and maybe some other places out in space, they've been working on a whole arsenal of antimatter bombs or stuff that might be even more powerful than that, all right? That they plan on using at the end game. Whatever they have a cocky attitude about it, and they think that they can win against God, all right? And it's going to be absolutely futile, that there's no chance at all that it'll work, but they're doing it nonetheless. And, it's pretty crazy that this stuff's real, but it is real. When I saw that rapture vision, when I experienced it when I was in it for the 15 seconds, I don't know. L.A. Marzulli, he's one of the only people in the world I know that has ever had of actually being in the second coming when he was riding back down on the flying horses and stuff like that in a real experience. All right. There's a few people that I've heard that have actually been to heaven, and there's a multitude of people that say they haven't and are totally lying. Okay. I've vetted them out already, and a lot of them are full of nonsense. But then there's the real ones. Okay. I don't know anybody else. Have I had dreams about the rapture in heaven? Yes, sure, absolutely, and they were dreams, but not the vision that I had. That was the actual experience of it. Everything has taken place, and it keeps unfolding itself to be an absolutely true event, okay? And what I experienced in that 15 seconds, I've never felt, you guys know the joy, but I've never felt power like this before, all right? It's off the charts. I'm not... being giddy or excited, like, oh, I felt so good. I could take on the armies of the world. When I'm saying that, I'm literally making the statement. I could take on the armies of the world. There was no comprehension. I could school Superman in flight. The power is off the charts. And though I did not get to experience some other things like hearing and things like that are super cool, I did get eagle vision on demand. It's absolutely incredible. It puts anything from the elves on Lord of the Rings to shame. I mean, you can just zoom in like that, and it's a natural ability. And I was experiencing the flight. It was on an autopilot sort of thing, but on the way up, the power is absolutely immense. Okay, it's incredible. And that's just one. All right? So when we come riding back in an army with God, okay, and Jesus is going to be running the operation. He's in the lead, the commander-in-chief, and we're with him, all right? And one person has the power to take on the armies of the world, and they're bringing out the worst and the best. I'm telling you right now, they don't stand a chance. It's going to be an absolute decimation, which is exactly what Revelation says. But they're going to try nonetheless, all right? And I look forward to this very much. I cannot state, in fact, if I say how much I hate evil, it's like the understatement of the century, right? I absolutely detest evil, okay? And even though it's serving its purpose right now to bring free choice and free will for everybody so they can make a decision on who they're going to follow and things like that, I long for the day that it gets vanquished, and I can't wait to be a part of it, all right? Armageddon will be talked about for at least 1,000 years. All right, and the people that were in it fighting in the battle, it's going to be legendary. And I plan on being there, all right, with God, fighting in this thing. It's everything that I've been searching for my entire life, and it's the whole reason that I've calmed down a little bit and doing what I'm doing right now. This isn't for not a purpose, all right? It's all for a purpose, all right? You guys, I've not seen one of you that have put my story together yet, and I've given you all the pieces for it. I cannot tell you the story because it gets into a dangerous part of the pillars that you have to hold back when you're given abilities and things like that. The bone-crushing responsibility that comes with it, all right? You're never raised to a higher elevation above people. You're stuck down in the mud with even more tied around your neck, pulling you under, and you have to use your abilities to help even more people, okay? At the same time, you're being crushed from the other side by things like vanity and arrogance and other things like that you have to constantly push back. All right, and if you don't, it will destroy you. And I've seen it happen before. Okay, people get a little bit of gifts or some knowledge from God, and it'll take them out. All right, it'll take them out from the other side. And I already know this. You guys have heard me drop revelation on things and revelations on multiple different topics you've never heard before. Okay, this stuff comes from God, and if I play my cards right here, doing right, giving the glory to Him, He'll open up even more for me, and I know this, all right? And why it's being opened up and why I'm pushing it out, you guys have heard me talk about rank, all right? Seating in heaven and things like that, all of this, all right? You guys know the story, the prophecy about me before I was born, okay? I've told you guys all the stuff, all right? I can't talk about every single thing, especially in my life or anything like that. And I long for the day when I can, when we're in heaven and everything gets revealed for what it is and what's taking place, you know. It'll be really nice to have an open conversation and discuss all the things, but there's a lot of stuff that I can't talk about, and it's because I'm bound in that, because some of that stuff is it's tied in with vanity and some of the other stuff that's part of the pillars. And I'm doing everything I can to hold that stuff back so that I can learn more and teach more and stay in the place, because I'm not messing around in any of this. When I told you guys that I wanted to be a Navy SEAL and that dream went off a cliff, and then I snuck into the Army and I thought I was going to be Delta Force, and that idea got shut down too, all right? I was searching for the absolute best that I could be and where I could go in that direction. And I was shut down for a while, and I didn't know why. Especially when the King of Kings tells me, and he has on multiple occasions that he made me to be a weapon, and that's what I'm for. And I'm constantly searching for the best, And little did I know that what I was searching for is just so insignificant and puny to what God has planned. When you are with him, when he makes a statement that John the Baptist is the best prophet that there ever has been, and then he tells the disciples, but compared to the lowest person in heaven, the lowest person in heaven is way more awesome, right? Making that statement that once we cross over, it's legendary. And I wasn't looking at the big picture until that vision in 2014. Everything that I've been looking for my entire life, the ability to vanquish evil once and for all right, on unprecedented, unbelievable, unimaginable, powerful levels, was shown to me. I got to experience it for about 15 seconds. It's the most groundbreaking, eye-opening thing that I've ever seen in my life. And now I hold out for that. That the mission isn't in vain, that the quest is still on, and that everything that I've been searching for to do, because I hate evil and I need the power to destroy it, is going to be given at a time. And I'm on standby right now, okay? And so are a lot of other people. Many people don't understand this anger towards it, but, most of you are all blind to the true evil that's going on out there in the world. There's a few that do. Mark Lang, I believe he's a police officer. He has his own channel and stuff. If you're in that sort of thing, there's tons of darkness that you see out there. Russ Dizdar, all right, fighting the forces of darkness. There's a few other people that I get to talk to that have been out there. They've seen it. They know the kind of evil that I'm talking about that's lurking out there. I absolutely can't wait for it to be vanquished. Everybody else, for the most part, especially Christians, their eyes are closed to all this. They have no idea the darkness is taking place out there and how evil it actually is. So you don't have that desire to want it to be gone in the first place. You don't even know. But I do know, and I absolutely can't stand it, and I can't wait for it to be done. And the longer that we're here, the longer that it gets to stick around. I can't wait for this to be over with, all right? But I got to see what happens, what becomes of me in that vision, all right, for only a few seconds, and it's going to get even more awesome after that. And I've put everything I can into this. Everything that I'm doing is for this and for that, and I'm only planning on taking it even higher, all right? Everything that I do and don't do is all for this. All of this is going in that direction. So if you haven't figured that out yet, all right, this is a revealing for you. This is what I'm all about, all right? Combat, it's never stopped. I haven't settled down. I haven't put it at bay. I'm only setting it to the side for it right now. I'm cranking up the rank of that for later on, all right? That's the whole purpose of all of this, okay? I can't wait to stop talking. I can't wait to stop babysitting, because that's what this is right now. This is babysitting. I'm trying to bring people along, all right, to get in the fight, to suit up, to get ready for it, all right? But when I'm called to not have to do this anymore, that's great. I couldn't be more excited, because then I get to go into what I'm really made for, destiny and fulfillment and combat, all right? To be the greatest warrior, all right, that has ever lived. That is my goal. That's what I'm pushing for. Will I achieve this? I have no idea, but I'm not stopping until I get there, all right? And you only get one chance to do this in life. One single chance. And then the whole thing's done, all right? It's over with. And then the judgment, all right? And then you get placed in your place. And that's why I say you don't want to come in as PVC Duffy for all of time, all right? Is it going to be legendary for everybody? Yeah, it totally is. But if you have a chance to go even harder and push further right now, then do it, all right? Every selfless act you do, it's recorded, all right? Do it. Do it quietly, do it for God, all right? Just like when he gives the representation of the Pharisees that are out praying on the street, all right, for everybody to see, and the man that goes in the closet that does it, okay? God sees him, he rewards him there, all right? And this is why I can't talk about half of my life, okay? I wiggle around, I tell you guys what I can, but the other half I can't, okay? They're acts of selflessness, and if I tell it to you guys, I'm only robbing myself for stuff later, and I have no intention of doing that this close to the finish line. It's just too close, okay? But this stuff, it's right there. We're at the door, okay? Every single day we're watching World War III push closer and closer, and there's tons of naysayers out there that say this isn't going to happen. But anyone with any brains at all, and they don't even have to be a Christian, all right, can see what's taking place and how we are prepping for World War III and how this is really going to go down, okay? This whole thing is going to take place. And if you put the whole thing together, including Albert Pike and what he said, how they're going to use Islam, all right, and this Islam thing's going to come out and they're going to use that. And after World War III, they're going to initiate the plan where they crash atheism and Christianity and they bring in the one world religion of Luciferianism, okay? It's all part of it. And it's about to take place, all right? The chips and everything else. If you notice in that trailer, Brad Pitt in the split second there, he's getting a microchip put in his hand. I mean, they're just putting it out there every single way that they can. It's getting closer and closer. I can't even watch anything on TV without Lucifer being advertised. It's so stinking annoying, and they just shove it down everybody's throats. I'm sick of it. I'm so tired of it. This thing is about to take off, all right? I've given so many warnings, it's unbelievable. But I really wanted to talk about this. It gives absolute credence to what I'm talking about, that they really do plan on blowing up God, or trying to. It's a folly idea. It's absolutely insanity. But they're doing it. They're making movies about it, and it's part of the end game that they got. All right, they got the technology. They think they can use portals and stuff like that. They're going to use interdimensional, extra-dimensional stuff to try and make this happen, and they feel confident enough that they're going to do it. It's crazy. I'm telling you right now, it's absolutely crazy. But this is what the enemy does. All right, they got some crazy ideas out there. Keep paying attention and stay the course. The other revelation I got today was something else. I've been looking into something for a while, and I haven't got to make a video, or I haven't got to talk about it. And it's the story of Jesus and on the Sea of Galilee. All right. And I'm not going to break into this right now because I was looking for more information, but it's something I've set off for a while, and it's pretty legendary. And it's one of those ones, it's just like Jesus talking to the time travelers, okay? Is it real? There seems to be a lot of evidence for it, but it might not be, and it doesn't change the fact, nor does it have anything to do with your salvation. But talk about interesting subject, because it's one of those things where it's like, when we find out, when we get to ask him, it could take the story where he calms the sea, which has been taught that's the Sea of Galilee for a long time, and there's something that's even more legendary, okay, where he's calming a hurricane, and it's not on the Sea of Galilee at all. So I got some more information on that, and I want to make a video about it here pretty soon, and especially now that I got this, because I think there's enough where I can give it some credit, and it's pretty interesting. But this is just a few things that I wanted to get out. I really wanted to get out after seeing that trailer this morning. That's extremely interesting that they're showing that much of their hand right now. But hope you guys have a good weekend. And if I don't see you again, I'll see you in the sky. But it's getting close. Every single day is getting closer. More evidence is pointing towards it, and we're about to fly out of here. All right. So if you don't know God, you haven't made him your king yet, bend the knee and make him your savior today, because you don't want to be on the other side. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be bad. The whole part. And why go through that when you can be saved right now? The world's not worth it. You see the direction it's going right now. It's just getting more wicked, more dark. All right. Find Jesus, ask him in your heart, serve him, follow him, and get off this planet when the rapture happens, okay? And ride back in glory and legendary status, because the battle will be talked about for 1,000 years, okay? I'm recruiting you into this, all right? I'm asking you to join me in battle. All right, God bless. I'll catch you next time on Unleashing. Bye.